And the rescue work that is going on. The rescue operations are underway as 8 people continue to be trapped inside the tunnel. This is a tunnel that collapsed on Saturday morning. While dozens of workers managed to escape, at least 8 workers continue to remain trapped inside that tunnel. A repair was going on as far as the leakage is concerned, and which is what led to that collapse of the roof. Meanwhile, a brief report on the collapse found that noises of shifting boulders indicate that the roof in the collapsed site is unstable, and it's being estimated that the span of the collapsed roof is about 13 kilometers from the mouth of the tunnel. As far as rescue operations are concerned, it includes the NDRF, the SDRF, the Army and the divers of the Navy are also involved. This is to assist in the rescue operations, in which 2 engineers, 2 technical staff and 4 workers are stuck. Let's listen into what the authorities have to say.
We can't say now. We are hopeful, but the incident took place very, very serious, and chances we can't say. Chances of survival I can't predict.
Sir, any reply from inside?
Chances are not that good.
और आवाजें आ रही है, रास्ता दिख रहा था उधर।
We are aboard the helicopter that is in fact going to the SLBC tunnel accident site, and the ministers Uttam Kumar Reddy and Mr. Jupalli are on way. Mr. Uttam Kumar Reddy, you have been there yesterday soon after the accident happened, and overnight you are sharing with us that the Army, the NDRF teams are working to bore inside.
We have the state government under the guidance and directions of the Honorable Chief Minister is fully geared up to tackle this emergency. We have also sought the help of the Indian Army. We also sought the support of the National Disaster Response Force, and everybody has been mobilized. All resources have been put together. All the most well-known tunnel experts in the country have been brought to the site.
We are here at the mouth of the tunnel that you can see, and from here it's about 13.5 kilometers inside that the collapse of the roof has happened. This is in fact the locomotive that goes inside with the men and the material to be able to reach that place. This is how workers every day go in, and there were about 70 workers who went in there right till about 13.5 kilometers to start work at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. What the expert here pointed out to us is that there was some kind of a geological kind of a movement there, because of which suddenly a huge gush of water came in, and there were about 20 minutes there, and the water started raising almost to a height of about 7 to 8 meters, and that's when they decided to come out. We are here inside the SLBC tunnel, where about 13 kilometers behind me is where the accident has taken place. What we are seeing is slush even here, and inside obviously the situation is not very conducive for people to go in, and yet you were able to send in the locomotives and the excavation has started.
Yes, we are doing dewatering and using excavators to remove the mud. We have put up huge pumps now to dewater. There's some technical issues that have come up. I'm trying to sort them out.
किसी के साथ संपर्क हो पाया है, कांटेक्ट हो पाया?
नहीं, अभी नहीं हुआ। इतना आसानी नहीं है ये, क्योंकि पूरे जो है 10-12 फीट जो है पूरे मड है, स्लरी है, पानी भी है। उसके ऊपर जो है चल के पैदल नहीं जा सक रहे, उस वास्ते जो है पानी को जो है बाहर निकालने की कोशिश करें। उसे जो मड है उसको भी जो है बाहर निकालने की कोशिश करें। जितना मोटर्स जरूर है उतना मोटर्स को जो है ऑलरेडी डिप्लॉय करें, तो मल्टीपल एक्शंस जो है हर तरीके से कोशिश करें।
Twice before this kind of an accident has happened, and in that time of course we did not see casualties, but this time 8 people are trapped inside, and to rescue them at the earliest is the first priority of the government. At the SLBC tunnel accident site with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Right, we have Uma with us to get us more on this. Uma, experts have been working round the clock and yet there seems to be no breakthrough. It's almost 48 hours and no contact has been made yet. What are the chances of any survivors? Because they really seem to be very bleak. Take us through the challenges that are being faced.
The good part is that the rescue team has reached within 100 meters of where the roof collapse in fact happened. But the worrying part is that at that place also, when we're talking about a diameter of 9 meters of the tunnel, almost till about 7 meters, there is still slush and mud, and excavating that is going to be a big task, and that's the reason why, in addition to the NDRF, the army, the SDRF, as well as the local police and fire officials, you are also now calling in the marine commandos, the Maricos as they are called, and a team from the naval base at Visakhapatnam has reached the accident spot, and they are going to try and make their way through that slush, and certain people who can actually climb or walk through the roof, climb their way through the roof, are trying to go the other side and see if there is an air chamber where they can find the 8 people who are still trapped inside. Additional equipment and material has been asked for, and that's now being sent through a locomotive once again to the rescue spot. People are working in shifts because it gets quite tiring. It's about 400 meters, underground that we are talking about, and about 13.5 kilometers from the opening point of the tunnel, the inlet point as we call it. This was meant to be a 44-kilometer long, the world's longest such tunnel. Remember, it's right under the Amrabad Tiger Reserve, and that's the reason why it needed to go so deep and could not be done on the ground itself, and it was using a gradient of the water itself to be able to provide irrigation and drinking water to the very drought-prone, perennially drought-prone Nalgonda district. But right now focused on the rescue operation. Some of the families from Jammu Kashmir, some of the families from Jharkhand have also come into the accident site. Actually, they've been kept a distance away where they have been provided with living quarters and kept comfortable, because they're obviously in the worst possible scenario, but hoping against hope that things work out. The minister did say that there is not too much of a hope because of the time lapsing, and because of the fact that the impact of the the earth falling there in that place, the geological movement as they call it, has been so much that even now water and mud continues to come in, and because to about 7 meters or about 21-22 feet you still have mud and slush, and therefore it appears a little bad, but they do not want to leave even one person to chance, and therefore putting in all the effort to try and reach the 8 people who were trapped inside more than 48 hours now. Back to you.
Right, of course, Uma, silt continues to be a challenge for the rescue operators, and like you mentioned, there are multiple teams involved, including the divers of the Navy. Well, Uma, in terms of such situations, how is it that no contact? They have not been able to contact the people inside. Usually, one does hear that they manage to somehow try and send food or water, or at least have some word of communication with them. But here, nothing seems to be open.
So the big difference with between the Uttarakhand collapse that we saw and this one is that we are talking about going through the rock and digging about 13.5 kilometers, and the other end, in fact, about 9 kilometers of rock to reach the other end, where the tunnel has again been dug for about 20 kilometers from the other side. That's the outlet side. So you're talking about dead rock on the other side, and here there is no air chamber as we can see it. There were 3 options there. One, that the mobile phone should work there, even otherwise it's an agency area and very difficult connectivity in that area. 2, they do use some internal communication. There is even an internet line, because we were able to actually see live pictures when the minister went in, Jupali Krishna Rao, and I spoke to him directly from near the mouth of the tunnel to where he had gone inside, and he said that things are not looking very good. And he also pointed out that the tunnel boring machine, which weighs about thousands of tons, that has actually been broken in parts and blown to a distance, or washed away to a distance of about 200 meters away. The tunnel boring machine itself is about 200 meters long, and many heavy parts of it have been washed away, which means the intensity of what has happened there, the accident that happened there is so bad that that's the reason why things are looking a little bleak. And yes, no contact has been established so far. They tried hard to call out the names of the people using whatever means they could. They even carried some kind of a loudspeakers, but no answer from the other side. Back to you.